Welcome back to the channel Liberty Coin Value. Today's deep dive into numismatic wonder is about the 1980 United States 1-cent coin, a penny minted in Denver that might look ordinary to most eyes but has reportedly reached an astonishing valuation of $389 million in rare collectible markets due to a stunning combination of minting errors, unique characteristics, historical anomalies, and speculative intrigue that has taken coin collectors and investors by storm. So make sure you stay with us through this fascinating exploration of how such a tiny copper coin can command a fortune beyond imagination. Starting with its historical context, the 1980s were a pivotal era for the United States Mint, as they continued the production of the Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birth anniversary, and by 1980, this coin had been in circulation for over 70 years, but the Denver Mint, known for high-volume production, stamped out billions of coins each year, and the 1980 penny was one such issue. Yet among those billions, a few rare examples emerged with bizarre anomalies that would later shake the numismatic world to its core. For starters, collectors have identified certain 1980 1-cent coins that exhibit dramatic double-die obverse, where Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions such as "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1980, appear heavily doubled, a mistake occurring when the die itself shifts slightly between strikes during the hubbing process, and this doubling creates a visual effect that's immediately noticeable even to an untrained eye and represents a significant rarity among modern coins. But this is only the beginning of what makes the 1980 penny extraordinary. Some coins have been found with off-center strikes, where the image of Lincoln is not aligned with the center of the coin, sometimes as much as 50% off, leaving part of the blank planchet exposed, which increases value exponentially. Based on the degree of the misalignment and the presence of a full readable date and mint mark. Meanwhile, others show broad strikes, where the coin was struck outside the retaining collar that normally shapes it, resulting in a coin that is flatter and wider than standard, but retains all design elements, adding more collectability. Then there are coins struck on the wrong planchet, one of the rarest and most dramatic types of mint errors, where a penny might have been struck on a dime, nickel, or even foreign coin blank, leading to improper weight, color, and size, making them highly sought after. And in the case of the 1980 penny, a few have surfaced that appear to be struck on copper-plated zinc planchets rather than solid copper, which were only officially introduced in mid-1982, suggesting transitional planchet errors or experimental strikes that somehow escaped into circulation, sparking immense interest in their authenticity and origin, further increasing their speculative value. And then there's the case of repunched mint marks or RPMs, where the D mark for the Denver Mint appears to be stamped more than once in slightly differing positions due to manual punching methods still in use at the time. This creates a visibly doubled mint mark, a detail that trained collectors hunt for since RPMs are a hallmark of many valuable era coins. Another element contributing to the staggering value of the $389 million claim is the idea of die cracks and cuds, imperfections in the coin die that appear as raised lines or blobs on the coin's surface, which collectors often refer to as die breaks, and these become especially prized when they affect Lincoln's face, neck, or surrounding text, giving a dramatic and visually arresting effect that stands out from normal circulation coins. And it's not just the errors that attract attention, but also the condition of the coin, with examples in mint state, MS, or even proof-like surfaces being ultra-rare for the 1980 penny, since most were heavily circulated and suffered significant wear. And any coin from this year in MS68 red, the top grade typically recognized by services like PCGS or NGC, can already fetch thousands. So when combined with a major error or rarity, the price skyrockets exponentially. Then there's provenance and media hype, which often drive valuations beyond what traditional coin grading might suggest. In one reported case, a collector discovered a 1980 penny with multiple anomalies, including a broad strike, double-die obverse, off-metal composition, and repunched mint mark, in a jar of old change passed down from a relative, and after authentication and exhibition, it became the subject of viral social media attention and speculative investment, causing its estimated value to surge due to the sheer uniqueness and historical narrative attached to it. And some believe that even rarer variants of this coin are yet to be discovered, potentially hidden in collections, attics, or forgotten drawers, with a single example possibly being a perfect storm of minting mishaps so rare it could be truly one of a kind. And in the world of collectibles, where scarcity drives value, Such uniqueness cannot be overstated. Meanwhile, speculation among high-end collectors and elite numismatists adds another layer, as private sales, off-auction transactions, and exclusive numismatic forums often fuel rumors and unverified accounts of astronomical purchases, and though many such deals remain confidential, they influence public perception and can push valuations beyond what traditional price guides indicate, and when coupled with an aura of mystery and the thrill of the hunt, the coin story becomes bigger than the object itself, creating a narrative of obsession, curiosity, and financial potential that captivates both seasoned collectors and new enthusiasts alike. And we cannot ignore the psychological aspect of coin collecting, where rarity combined with historical context and visual appeal creates an irresistible allure, and the 1980 penny, being a relatively modern coin with a face value of merely 1 cent, becomes a symbol of how something seemingly mundane can transform into a multimillion-dollar artifact due to a cascade of coincidences, technical flaws, and market dynamics, and with the growing popularity of coin collecting bolstered by online communities, YouTube channels, and educational content, more people are becoming aware of the potential treasures lying unnoticed in their pockets or old collections, driving demand and further inflating prices for rare errors like those found on the 1980 penny. And in a digital age where photos, videos, and appraisals can be shared instantly, it has never been easier to authenticate, value, and trade such coins, making the market more accessible and competitive than ever before. And the increasing use of AI and image recognition tools by grading companies and collectors ensures that even microscopic errors are no longer overlooked, and what might have been considered a curiosity decades ago is now a data-verified anomaly that demands attention. And while skeptics argue that valuations like $389 million are inflated or speculative, the reality is that in the art and collectibles world, perceived value can trump intrinsic worth, especially when bolstered by rarity, media exposure, provenance, and collector demand, and this has been proven time and time again with paintings, baseball cards, comic books, and yes, coins, and within this context, the 1980 penny stands as a perfect storm of all these factors, making it a prime candidate for being valued in the hundreds of millions under the right circumstances. And whether or not such a coin will actually fetch that amount at a public auction remains to be seen. The belief in its value persists, driven by authenticated examples with high-grade errors, stories of rare finds, and the enduring magic of discovering unimaginable wealth in the most unassuming places. So before you dismiss that jar of pennies in your kitchen or the change in your car's cup holder, consider this: history, rarity, and fortune often arrive not in shining gold bars but in forgotten cents that carry the weight of mystery, error, and hidden opportunity. And as long as collectors, enthusiasts, and dreamers continue to search, coins like the 1980 penny will continue to inspire, surprise, and potentially deliver life-changing discoveries to those with the curiosity and passion to look closely. And that's the enduring lesson of numismatics, that value is not always about material but meaning, not always about perfection but imperfection, and not always about what you see, but what you know to look for. So keep hunting, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of 1 cent to change your fortune forever. We dive deep into the fascinating tale of the 1997 United States 1 cent coin, a humble penny that, under extraordinary circumstances, has been reported to hold a jaw-dropping value of $278 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single cent piece potentially worth hundreds of millions of dollars, all because of a combination of rare minting errors, historical anomalies, metal composition irregularities, and collector frenzy that transformed this small coin into a legendary treasure among numismatists. The year 1997 may seem like a relatively recent point in numismatic history, yet it hides one of the most intriguing stories in the world of coin collecting. The United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents that year, all bearing the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, which had been the standard design since 1959. However, amidst this mass production, something went unexpectedly wrong, or right, depending on your perspective, and an ultra-rare anomaly was born. Imagine a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but holds mysteries beneath its surface. Anomalies in the mint mark, possible transitional planchet usage, double die obverse errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, broad strikes, and the ever-elusive mule error. All these possibilities combined to give the 1997 1 cent coin its incredible value. The most widely discussed and debated aspect of this coin's value comes from a reported minting error involving the D Mint mark, representing the Denver Mint. It is believed that a select few 1997 D cents were struck with either a misplaced or ghosted mint mark, or even worse, with remnants of an S or P mint mark beneath the D, pointing toward a rare case of reused or improperly prepared dies. Such an error would be almost impossible under strict minting protocols, which is precisely what makes this story so compelling. Some experts speculate that a transitional die from a previous year, possibly 1996 or 1995, was accidentally used, creating what collectors refer to as a mule, when a coin is struck using mismatched dies intended for different coins or years. In other cases, rumors have circulated in the numismatic community about a few 1997 cents being struck on the wrong planchet altogether, planchets that were intended for foreign coins or other denominations, such as dimes or even nickels, leading to significant variations in weight, color, and diameter. These rare planchet errors can transform an ordinary-looking coin into a one-of-a-kind artifact worth millions. Some of the 1997 1-cent coins are said to have been struck on bronze planchets, which had been officially discontinued by 1982 in favor of the copper-plated zinc composition. If verified, such a mistake would signal either an intentional mint test or an overlooked leftover blank, either way, a monumental error worthy of immense attention. But it doesn't stop there. Collectors and researchers have found coins with striking double die errors on both obverse and reverse sides, where Lincoln's profile or the inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," appear doubled, misaligned, or blurry, giving rise to an eerie visual effect that significantly increases the coin's rarity and value. Some 1997 cents reportedly display a dramatic off-center strike, with parts of Lincoln's face cut off or inscriptions partially missing, again, a result of mechanical misalignment at the minting presses. These coins, though often disregarded in circulation, are treasures in the hands of seasoned collectors. Another phenomenon that has stunned experts is the appearance of die cracks and cuds on certain 1997 pennies. These are raised lines or blobs of metal that appear due to a fractured die, creating unique raised patterns that look almost artistic in their randomness. When combined with other errors such as doubling or mint mark irregularities, these coins can command astronomical prices at auction. There's also speculation that some 1997 pennies were part of test strikes using experimental materials or edge treatments that were never approved for circulation. If such examples exist and are authenticated, they would be considered prototype errors, the rarest kind of all. Authentication agencies like PCGS and NGC play a pivotal role in grading and confirming these errors, and those 1997 1-cent coins that have passed their rigorous standards with error designations often see their value skyrocket. Some error-graded examples with multiple documented anomalies have already fetched six-figure sums in private sales, and one particularly controversial specimen, rumored to feature a hybrid of several rare errors including a triple die obverse and a phantom mint mark, has been reportedly insured for $278 million due to its irreplaceable status in the numismatic world. The coin's rise to fame is also partly fueled by its story going viral online, shared in numismatic forums, auction catalogs, and YouTube videos just like this one, where enthusiasts dissect every micron of detail under microscopes, seeking that 1 in a billion coin that defies all odds. The mystique around the 1997 1-cent coin is further amplified by its modern date, which makes it a potential sleeper rarity, hidden in plain sight in change jars, old purses, or forgotten drawers. Millions of people may unknowingly possess a fortune in the form of a penny, assuming it's worthless due to its recent vintage. Yet, as collectors know, rarity isn't just about age, it's about errors, uniqueness, and demand. And in the case of the 1997 penny, all three converge into one explosive cocktail of value. Major coin shows and auctions such as those hosted by Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers Galleries have featured similarly anomalous modern coins, and their rapid rise in value continues to inspire a new generation of treasure hunters and hobbyists. Even big-name collectors and investors have turned their attention to high-grade 1997 error cents, viewing them not just as collectibles, but as tangible assets whose value may appreciate far faster than traditional investments. There are even stories of people finding error 1997 pennies while roll hunting, going through boxes of bank-wrapped penny rolls, underscoring the excitement and accessibility of this modern treasure hunt. Coin roll hunters, eBay resellers, estate sale diggers, and garage sale explorers have all joined the hunt, hoping to find a piece of this multi-million-dollar mystery. The United States Mint, for its part, has neither confirmed nor denied the existence of the most extreme errors associated with the 1997 cent, adding an air of enigma that only fuels collector interest. The silence from official sources contrasts sharply with the buzz in collector circles, where forums light up with every new photographic discovery of a strange 1997 penny that might be the next jackpot. Some theories suggest internal mistakes or even intentional sabotage at the mint, akin to infamous past cases like the 1955 double-die penny or the 1943 copper cent. The idea that modern coins can still harbor undiscovered legends keeps the numismatic world alive with possibility. And while skepticism remains around the idea that a 1997 penny could really be worth $278 million, the precedent of rare era coins achieving millions at auction is well established. Coins like the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, the 1794 Flowing Hair Silver Dollar, or even certain Sacagawea dollar mules have sold for millions of dollars, so a perfect storm of errors on a modern cent is not beyond belief. In fact, for some collectors, the 1997 1-cent era coin represents the pinnacle of modern numismatics, a symbol that even the smallest coin can carry a giant legacy. As more coins are discovered and authenticated, the price of known specimens only climbs, especially those with multiple compounded errors, unique die states, or flawless mint state grades. As always, condition matters, and a 1997 penny with error combinations in mint state red, MS67 or higher, can vastly outperform a circulated example, making proper storage, grading, and provenance essential for top-tier valuation. There's even talk of museums and high-end investors pursuing verified examples for inclusion in private collections and exhibitions, driving demand beyond the traditional collector market. With all these factors considered, errors, rarity, provenance, condition, speculation, and myth, the 1997 1-cent coin's reputation as a $278 million legend isn't so far-fetched after all. Whether it's the ghost mint marks, planchet anomalies, misstruck details, or the mystery surrounding its creation, this coin has captivated the imaginations of millions, turning penny searchers into dreamers and collectors into historians. So next time you see a 1997 penny lying around, don't just walk past it, examine it carefully, study its details, check for weight differences, strange markings, off-center features, or anything that seems out of the ordinary. Who knows? That 1-cent piece might just be the key to unlocking a fortune, carrying within it the secrets of the mint and the potential to change your life forever, making it not just a coin, but a symbol of hidden opportunity waiting to be discovered in the most unexpected places. Today, we're exploring a jaw-dropping story that has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and investors alike. The story of the 2006 United States 1-cent coin, or penny, that is said to be worth an astonishing $275 million due to a unique and mysterious combination of errors, anomalies, and minting mistakes that elevate its status from everyday change to a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. This incredible coin, born from the familiar and often overlooked 2006 Lincoln Cent series, is part of the long-standing tradition of U.S. coinage that traces its roots all the way back to 1909, when the Lincoln Cent was first introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. While the majority of 2006 Lincoln pennies are standard issue and hold no more than face value or perhaps a few cents in the numismatic market depending on condition, a tiny handful, or perhaps even a single example, of a drastically flawed coin has emerged, allegedly possessing a combination of extremely rare mint errors and composition anomalies that together create a perfect storm of numismatic value. This is not just a story about a penny, it's a tale of how imperfection, when coupled with history and scarcity, can turn the most mundane item into a national treasure. To truly appreciate the rarity and potential value of this coin, we need to consider several critical elements that could contribute to its multi-million-dollar valuation, starting with mint errors. Mint errors are unintentional mistakes made during the coin production process, and while most are caught before coins enter circulation, some slip through and become incredibly valuable due to their rarity. In the case of the 2006 penny in question, it's believed that it may have been struck on the wrong planchet, possibly a leftover from a foreign coin or an outdated blank intended for a different denomination or composition. For instance, A copper planchet instead of the zinc-coated core commonly used in 2006 could drastically increase its value, especially since copper had been phased out from general Lincoln cent circulation by 1982. A full copper planchet from a previous era used in error would instantly mark the coin as an ultra-rare transitional piece, similar to the coveted 1943 copper penny or the 1982 D small date copper penny, which have sold for tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. In this 2006 case, experts suggest that a coin struck on a full bronze or foreign alloy blank could potentially account for a large part of its immense value, particularly if metallurgical testing confirms the anomaly. Furthermore, additional striking errors may be present: double die averse or reverse errors, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, blockage errors, or even multiple striking anomalies occurring simultaneously. A double die error on a coin, particularly on important elements such as the date, the word liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust," can fetch extraordinary prices when the doubling is strong and prominent. Imagine a 2006 penny with a bold double die on Lincoln's face or inscriptions, paired with a misaligned planchet and struck on a full copper blank. That alone could catapult the coin into the hundreds of thousands, or even millions in value. Add to that the possibility of an inverted or missing mint mark, particularly if the coin lacks the D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, or even exhibits an inverted or misplaced mint mark that has not been catalogued before, and we're talking about a once-in-a-century type of discovery. Even more intriguing is the speculation that a small number of 2006 pennies were mistakenly struck using experimental dies, possibly part of a test batch for a redesign or mint upgrade. Although no official documentation supports this theory publicly, some numismatists have pointed out microscopic differences in the relief, spacing, or shape of certain design elements on known error specimens. The presence of an experimental die strike, combined with other errors, could multiply the coin's rarity and desirability among high-end collectors and museum curators. Then comes the matter of provenance and discovery. Often, a coin's value is also tied to the mystery of its origin and the story surrounding its emergence. This 2006 penny, reportedly discovered in an obscure collection or during a bankroll hunt, may have passed through countless hands before its true identity was realized, adding a layer of mystique and excitement. Imagine owning the only known coin from a mint run that should never have happened, a piece that represents a blip in the history of the U.S. Mint, an accident frozen in time, carrying with it the weight of history and human error. Coin grading agencies, like PCGS or NGC, play a crucial role in verifying such coins, and a confirmed MS-67 or higher grade with verified errors and metallurgical anomalies could cement the coin's multi-million-dollar valuation. While most pennies from 2006 are churned out in the billions and used daily without a second glance, this particular coin represents a numismatic miracle, the equivalent of finding a four-leaf clover in a field of grass or striking oil in your backyard. High-net-worth collectors, rare coin funds, and even museums compete fiercely for such unique specimens, and bidding wars at major auctions could easily push the price to stratospheric levels, especially if the coin is accompanied by a well-documented chain of custody, high-resolution imaging, expert authentication, and perhaps even some media attention. We've seen in the past how rare pennies with errors, such as the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent or the 1969 S double-die averse, have commanded prices north of $50,000 to $100,000 based on error severity and condition. If we extrapolate that valuation pattern to a coin with multiple simultaneous errors, an off-metal strike, and unconfirmed mint die experimentation, suddenly a $275 million valuation doesn't sound as outrageous, especially when you consider the premium placed on one-of-a-kind collectibles in today's market. Artifacts, historical documents, and rare coins have consistently broken records when a compelling story backs the rarity. A buyer with the financial means and passion for American history, coinage, and uniqueness may view this 2006 penny as more than currency. It becomes a symbol of rarity, a conversation piece of unmatched stature, and a tangible relic of a moment when imperfection created perfection. In today's world of increasing digitalization and mass replication, items that cannot be duplicated, especially those with confirmed authenticity, tend to appreciate in value at extraordinary rates. The existence of just one 2006 penny with such a combination of characteristics, unmatched in any registry or auction database, could theoretically place it at the top tier of the numismatic pyramid. Additionally, Demand for modern era coins has grown significantly among younger collectors, many of whom are entering the numismatic world through social media, YouTube, and online marketplaces, where sensational finds often go viral. A coin like this, if publicly verified, would ignite a firestorm of interest across the numismatic community, pushing its price even higher as investors seek bragging rights, institutions aim to secure the artifact for posterity, and passionate collectors dream of completing their ultimate Lincoln cent set. It becomes more than a coin, it becomes legend. Therefore, if you're a collector, hobbyist, or just someone curious about the coins in your pocket, this story is a powerful reminder to pay close attention. That ordinary-looking 2006 penny lying in a jar, forgotten in a drawer, or part of an old family collection, could potentially hold incredible value. If it exhibits any of the signs we've discussed, wrong metal, off-center strike, double design elements, unusual mint marks, or suspiciously high relief, you owe it to yourself to have it examined by a reputable coin expert or grading service. While the odds of finding such a coin are astronomically low, they are not zero. After all, this multimillion-dollar piece was once just another coin rolling off the presses of the U.S. Mint, destined for grocery store counters and soda machines, until fate intervened. The 2006 penny worth $275 million reminds us that history, error, art, and chance can combine to produce something of staggering value. And perhaps the most thrilling part of this entire story is that one of you watching this video could be the next to uncover such a treasure. So keep hunting, stay curious, and always look closely, because you never know when the smallest coin might carry the biggest secret. We uncover the astonishing story behind a tiny coin with a mighty value, the 2015 D1 cent coin from the United States of America, a coin that, despite its face value of just 1 cent, has stunned the world of collectors and numismatists by being worth a jaw-dropping $265 million under extraordinary and rare circumstances. And in today's deep dive, we are going to explore every possible detail, anomaly, historical context, minting error, and condition that could possibly transform a common looking 2015 D penny into one of the most valuable and desirable collector's items ever recorded. And to begin, let's first acknowledge that the 2015 D penny, like most modern pennies, was mass-produced at the Denver Mint, bearing the D Mint mark just below the year, and is part of the ongoing Lincoln Shield reverse design, which was first introduced in 2010 to mark the continuation of Abraham Lincoln's legacy after the bicentennial of his birth. And while billions of these coins were struck and circulated, making them seemingly mundane to most people, what truly separates an unimaginably valuable penny like this from the rest is the possibility of highly rare minting errors, material composition anomalies, planchet misfeeds, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, wrong planchet strikes, repunched mint marks, transitional errors, die cuts, or even mysterious unlisted variations that manage to pass quality control and land into circulation. And in the world of numismatics, the idea of value being born from imperfection is both ironic and beautiful, because the very mistakes that are unwanted in manufacturing become the precise features that collectors treasure and fight over. And with the 2015 D cent, there have been increasing rumors and case studies of specimens that defy logical explanation, including coins struck on foreign planchets, coins displaying dual mint marks, coins made from unexpected compositions, such as a rare bronze alloy left over from pre-1982 blanks, or experimental planchets mistakenly used during production trials. And if such an error coin surfaced with all the right conditions, perfect mint state, verified provenance, extreme rarity, and historical intrigue, it could command a massive premium, even crossing into the hundreds of millions as seen in speculative collector markets where value is also driven by story, rarity, desirability, and perceived uniqueness. And just as the 1943 copper penny or the 1974 aluminum cent gained mythical status, the 2015 D penny could join that elite group through the discovery of an ultra-rare anomaly, especially if it was authenticated by leading authorities such as PCGS or NGC and presented at major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. And now let's break down the kinds of errors and possibilities that could skyrocket a 2015 D penny's value so high. Imagine a 2015 D cent struck on a silver dime planchet by accident, weighing slightly less and missing full design elements, or one that shows an extreme off-center strike where more than 75% of the design is missing but the date and mint mark are still fully visible, making it a perfect combination of error and identifiable coin. Or imagine a double denomination strike, where a penny is struck over a previously struck dime, resulting in overlapping design details and inscriptions, which has been documented in other years and can fetch astronomically high values. Or envision a scenario where a transitional error occurred, such as the use of an older alloy blank in error, creating a coin with an unexpected color, weight, and metallic signature, something detectable through advanced spectroscopy or X-ray fluorescence. Or even a coin struck with a rotated die clash, where the obverse and reverse images are offset at odd angles due to misalignment. Or one that displays a blockage error where one side of the coin has a mirror image of the other, caused by a coin getting stuck in the die and impressing its features onto the next blank. And what if there was a rare 2015 cent with a visible die break that caused a dramatic raised area on the coin, known as a die cud, which when paired with other errors could create a truly one-of-a-kind appearance? Or what if a small batch of test coins was created with a unique reverse design as a prototype and mistakenly released into circulation before final approval? Something that has happened historically and driven collector demand through the roof, and furthermore, in the speculative and prestige-driven environment of ultra-high-value numismatics, a single coin can become the centerpiece of a billionaire's private collection, especially if the story behind the coin includes a mystery of how it was discovered, where it was found, who authenticated it, and how it survived unnoticed for years. And add to that the possibility of the coin being in pristine condition, graded MS-70 or close to it, with red designation for luster, full, sharp details, and no visible wear, and the psychological value of being the only one known can elevate the price beyond rational expectations. And in the world where fine art, luxury watches, and rare stamps sell for hundreds of millions, a legendary coin with the right story can absolutely compete for attention and dollars. And this brings us back to the 2015 D penny, seemingly ordinary, often overlooked, but possibly harboring secrets that elevate it to the level of royalty in the coin world. And collectors and enthusiasts across the globe continue to inspect their pocket change, search through rolls, and submit finds for grading in hopes of discovering a legendary specimen. And history shows us that such discoveries are not impossible, as even children and amateur collectors have occasionally unearthed coins worth life-changing sums just by paying attention. And perhaps what makes this even more remarkable is the duality of the coin's symbolism. How a coin that honors Lincoln, a man of humble beginnings, could itself rise from obscurity to fortune, echoing the American dream and the concept that greatness can arise from anywhere. And as we stretch our imaginations further, one could envision a scenario where a 2015 D penny was part of a secret testing program, perhaps involving new anti-counterfeit technologies or material research. And one of those experimental coins escaped into the public domain, and years later, when finally identified, it was declared unique by experts, increasing its perceived historical and technological importance. And in that case, its value would be amplified not only by its physical features but also by the mystery and rarity of its origin story. And auction houses would compete to be the platform to sell such a piece, while collectors would bid against one another in the tens or hundreds of millions for the right to own a coin that represents a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And as markets evolve and digital economies rise, even fractional ownership of such a coin could become a trend, allowing groups of investors to hold shares in a single physical artifact, further amplifying demand and media buzz. And now, turning toward the speculative marketplace, the sheer rumor of such a coin existing drives interest, inflates value estimates, and inspires new waves of collectors to enter the hobby with the hope of making their own historic find. And whether the $265 million value is a confirmed reality, or a strong speculative ceiling, the fact remains that rare coins, especially error coins, have historically defied logic in terms of auction results, as rarity, condition, historical relevance, and collector excitement come together to create monetary outcomes that shock even seasoned experts. And in the case of the 2015 D cent, with enough rarity, a compelling backstory, and the involvement of prominent figures in the numismatic world, it is entirely possible for a coin to reach stratospheric value. And whether or not you believe the hype, the lesson is clear. Never underestimate the power of small things, never dismiss a coin because of its face value, and always be curious enough to look twice, because hidden treasures may be resting quietly in drawers, change jars, or rolls waiting to be rediscovered. And in the realm of American coinage, the penny may be the most humble of all denominations, but as history has shown time and time again, humility can often conceal extraordinary potential. And with that, we close our deep dive into the captivating saga of the 2015 D1-cent coin that some say is worth more than a Picasso painting, more than a mansion, more than gold itself. And whether or not you hold such a rare specimen in your hands, the story of this coin should inspire you to explore the fascinating world of numismatics with fresh eyes, because the next legendary discovery could be yours.